I'm advocating all your parents don't watch your emails. Oh, I think that's some of your friends have people with the phone. You're penalizing the person who read their email. Yeah, I know. Yeah, just this much of a job. I'm so bad. It's the morning is so bad. The rules for fair. Don't get our no, just your I have to laugh because the bill has done other kids. I
mean, you at least have an office. I know.
You go to the Kelly Park and let your kids out down there and you walk on the sidewalk. It's so much safer than having to cross the street.
We'll set you on that table facing the wall. Sure. I always use my turn signal.
Have you seen the movie the other guy? Mark Wahlberg. The parking. And the watch the scene where he's demoted to like he's the pickup line person at the school. That's what I think of when I'm kind of driving on the street. The Mark Wahlberg. There's like a people take the work. They have that master.
Not really.
I don't know. I didn't see the Westwell listed, so I just thought all of that must have been coming. I'm glad you said that.
That's send it to me, because otherwise I don't understand how I'm still in a real moron.
That first play after that kickoff, the breaker, I think.
Okay. Got it.
John? Here. Kevin?
Here.
Allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. By the light, a little bit. I'm excused. Get a motion for the consent agenda. So moved. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public input, time and place for discussion items not already on the agenda with a time limit of 3 minutes each. Budget presentation, library.
Yeah, sure. Do you want to say stuff too?
No. Not unless you need me.
Okay. So I'm just going to hand out some overview of our year. Real quick. We've had a busy year and you'll see the highlights on here. We had an 8% increase in circulation of physical materials, a 91% increase in program attendance, summer reading logs completed doubled over the summer, a 40% increase in website visits, and we welcomed a new children's librarian this year and completed our new shelving renovation as well as some other repairs to the building. So thank you for your support. Wasn't possible without the city's funding and support, all of these kind of big projects that we undertook and completed. So our budget, we did not ask for any major increases. I think we've stayed flat on many lines, and I think overall there's like a 5% decrease because we cut that west wall fund out. So that's kind of the main things on the budget request. Any questions?
Any questions?
No.
Southeast Plan.
Check now. I'm a little short for it. Hopefully y'all can hear. So I sent some materials with your packets. and just kind of highlights from our year and some information about some of our new programs. Our most exciting one, I think, this year was the free summer meals program. So if you were around some of the weekday lunches, the place was bustling full of kids and babysitters, kids and grandparents, kids and parents. They're enjoying the free summer meals. We had over 100 different volunteers that helped with that throughout the summer, and we averaged just under 50 people a day coming to those meals, which I'll note is more than the Coralville Pantry had at their feeding site. So it was really successful. It was exciting to be able to provide that, and it also helped us connect with some other families in the community who maybe weren't aware of some of our other programs and are now utilizing some of those as well. So that was a great program. We continued. A couple of numbers that I didn't have in your packets. I broke down, I looked at people using the food pantry in our most recent fiscal year, and it's 125 Lisbon households that benefited from the food pantry, which is 319 people, and that's 14% of the population. So significant number of our neighbors are benefiting from the food pantry specifically. Also in our most recent fiscal year, we spent almost $6,000 helping 15 different Lisbon households get stabilized with some help with prevent a water shut-off or prevent an eviction, so help with an emergency bill. So helping families stabilize here in the community. We also, 67 Lisbon school kids got free school supplies and backpacks for us for this year, so helping them be ready for the school year. And still doing our senior programs, senior meals, free rides, so really helping some of our senior neighbors stay here in the community that they love and providing those supports that make that possible for them. We did ask, my board asked for an increase. We're asking for $30,000 this year. We know your budgets are tight, but we have, in the last 2 months, visits to the food pantry are up 40% over the same time period last year, and we don't see that changing going into 2026. There's new restrictions coming on SNAP, and a lot of people are going to be paying a lot more for insurance with the end of those federal subsidies. So we know there's going to be more and more families relying on us for our support. So that's the reason for our increased ask. Gary Scott's one of my board members here. Did you have anything you wanted to add?
Okay, sure. So yes, I'm a board member and also treasurer for this year. And I've been treasurer of other nonprofits before, but I just want to make a point that Nicole and Molly together are such a great team. They keep everything running very efficiently. My supervisory role is fairly limited because they make everything work really well. They use the money very wisely. They stick to the budget as closely as we can, even though there's ups and downs every month. So I'm here just to support her and make sure if there's any questions asked. We're going to be going to this, I live in Mount Vernon, but I run the little fix-it shop at the end of Main Street here in Lisbon at Start to Create. And we're going to be making the same request at the Mount Vernon City Council meeting next month. So appreciate your support.
Okay, I have one question that with the food pantry, like you guys donate our Thanksgiving meals, of course, and that. And there's no background check, but if you know you need it, then you show up there and there's no questions asked. Is that correct?
So, yeah, great question. So some of the food that we get comes from the USDA. So there is one form that they require for people who are getting the USDA food, which is an income verification form. Otherwise, the food that's donated can go to anyone. So if there's someone that doesn't quite meet that guideline, we can give them other food. But the general form that we use is a state form from the USDA for, but our best practices for food pantries is always to not turn people away.
Exactly. If they think they need it,
yeah,
then
we're not gonna let somebody go if they need it without helping. Yeah.
So this 30, you said you went from
40%.
So how much were you asking for this year?
30,000. You guys gave us 25 last year.
So do you think that's sufficient?
We could always use more, but we want to be mindful of the city budget too. So,
well, I just think for the hard times and stuff people are running into these days, I think
if you found room for more, we could certainly use more. Yeah,
at least 35,000 would be.
certainly. And one thing we did invest in, we did a wider mailing this. We always do an annual campaign at the end of the year asking for the public support, and we did send that to every household in Lisbon and Mount Vernon instead of our more limited mailing list. So chose to invest in that because of the increased need to try to reach out to more of the community.
In July, we brought in a fairway. Have they helped out in?
They have, yeah. So we kind of had the grocery wars last month between Gary's and Fairway, seeing who could support us more. So they've both been amazing. So yeah, we're actually picking up 3 mornings a week from Fairway. They're like day-old bread and bakery things. And then they did a roundup at the register for us in November. And some of their folks actually came over and helped pack our holiday boxes as well. So they've gotten involved in a lot of ways.
I just make a point that Southeast Lynn is kind of being seen within the county and around as being a very well-run food pantry. People have been coming to Nicole and just kind of watching over our shoulder to see how things run, because some of the other pantries have just a few people that do volunteer work, and they're only able to open like 1 or 2 days a month from some of our neighboring towns. So we've actually been helping other people get going, including.
We're not going to ever not help Lisbon, but we are expanding. So United Way came to us, and so we're doing a pilot program helping folks in Ely who don't have a food pantry. So United Way is helping to fund that. And we're the first, we also opened a site at Cornell to help the students and staff there. And we're the first one of ACAP's 7-county region, the first pantry to do a second site like that. So, yeah.
Very good.
Good. Very good.
Very good.
Any other questions? Great, thank you so much.
Anyway,
It's probably the easiest one we have. Just asking for a slight decrease, $2,825. Minor equipment line is the biggest line item on there, and that's because you never know when siren batteries are going to go, and that's what it costs typically to get that. I priced those out. So that was for that, and I'm also looking at some grants for a portable sign. It's like you'll see them on the highway, accident ahead or things like that you can put up on the roadway. So I'm looking at a grant for that. So we'd have to offset that with up at the grant at the top portion. We'd have to add to it at the bottom if we ended up getting the grant. But I'll keep that off there until we get that.
So that $1,500 cover both batteries for both sirens
Yeah.
and the radio?
Actually, the radio is the one on there for this year. We have that budgeted this year for one radio.
Sure that,
It's $5,000 on this year's budget.
sure that $1,500 will be enough?
I think so. They tested it out pretty good, so I'm hoping that I can get by with one set. But
any questions? Tiff?
I'll let Christine go over this one.
So you'll see a request on there for $174,500. $114,500 is for our bond payments for the Geo bond and the sports complex bond that we have out. $20,000 for the downtown rehab projects. And then budget lines is still in a TIF rebate with us, and $40,000 would be the estimate. You'll see that we're actually going to be bringing in $20,000 more, and that's because we requested from the county TIF funds to recoup the downtown reinvestments from this year. So that's the $20,000 difference. Otherwise, it's dollar for dollar for what we request from the county and what we spend out. Anybody have questions?
Discussion of possible action in reference to final payment to Dave Schmidt for phase 1 at the Sports Complex.
Lisa Birch, our civil engineer, is on to go over this with you.
Hi, good evening. This is our final payment for the phase 1 of the sports complex. This was been going on for a while. We are looking forward to wrapping this up. This was for like the infrastructure for the roads, the soccer fields, the grading. We had some challenges, and that's why this has been dragged out for a while. We're trying to make sure everything is buttoned up. So this is our final payment, which is going to consist of the retainage release that we've been holding, which is around $66,000. There's a credit that Dave Schmidt owes us for a missed bill that we caught in one of their invoices, around $12,000. There's also a credit from Dave Schmidt to us for the north driveway pavement issues, which is the driveway that's gonna go into the baseball fields. They had an issue the whole time with their concrete, and they tried to do a patching product, and it really didn't take. So what we've agreed to with them, or they have agreed to do, is to give us a credit for the amount of the pavement by the unit price for the area that was bad, and we doubled that quantity to account for the fact that we're gonna have to remove it. So that's a pretty fair way to deal with it. Then we have one additional item, which was some extra grading that we owed them, which was additional grading for the ball fields that they had done with phase 1. So our final payment will be around $94,215.11. And if we look at the contract as a total from our original bid, we're only at $59,000, slightly above that, over the budget. And that also would cover additional driveway work we had done over at Myers Meadows and the additional grading. Do you have any questions?
Any questions for Lisa? Nope, that's it. Thank you very much. Have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Second reading of ordinance 04.
Oh, I need a motion to pay that.
Okay, close. Need a motion to,
I second
need a motion first.
it.
Make a motion to
I
approve the
second
payment.
Which is the second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Second reading of ordinance 04-2025. Update to intersections, possible suspension of rules and placing ordinance on third and final reading. Need a motion?
So this is for Cryberg Boulevard, Myers Drive.
Motion to approve the second reading.
A motion and a second.
Second.
Nate?
Aye.
Riley?
Aye.
Rick?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
And do I have possible suspension of rules and place on third?
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Nate?
Aye.
Riley? John?
Aye.
Rick?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Alright. Resolution 42.
Oh, do the third and final one.
That was the third final.
Motion to
Suspending
approve the
it.
third.
All right, third final.
Motion to approve the third and final reading.
Got a motion and a
I'll
second.
second that.
Nate?
Aye.
Riley?
Aye.
Rick? John?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Resolution 42, 2025, TIF loan transfer.
This is that paperwork trail for the transfer back from TIF to lost.
Motion to approve the resolution.
A motion and a second.
Second.
Kevin?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Rick?
Aye.
Riley? Nate?
Aye.
Resolution 43, 2025, utility billing clerk hire.
So the personnel committee and I had met the past couple of weeks. We did 8 interviews here at City Hall. And at the conclusion of that process, personnel committee has recommended hiring Brianna Ties at a rate of $22 an hour. She comes to us from the director of the LECC Champions of Lisbon Daycare. And she will start a little bit the week of the 12th, and then she'll start full-time on the week of the 19th of January. And this is to accommodate for her 30 days of notice that she's required to give at her current position.
And, go ahead.
When you met with Brianna, I would like to make a motion.
Good. I don't know if you can, but we can talk about it.
Okay, well, I'd like to give her more money. I'd like to at least give her $23.50 and within 6 months, get her right back up to where the last city clerk was. The money's already budgeted. And I think that's fair, whether it be fair. I think she's well qualified for it.
Okay.
Prior to LECC, what was her previous job? Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Our college background.
So I've been at LACC since June of 2016. And prior to that, I worked for the Arc of East Central Iowa, which is a nonprofit organization. And I worked there from 2005 to 2016. And I was in a role there called a facilitator role. So my position there was HR related, all administrative related. The administration part of that company began in 2010. So since 2010, I've been doing administrative work, managerial work, HR work, billing, state billing, policy.
15, almost 16 years.
Yeah, and my degree is a 2-year degree in paralegal studies. So I did work for a law firm for a short time. Unfortunately, the law firm closed. So I have a background in understanding the legalese and policy writing and things like that. So that's my background.
Right, thank you.
As for what you were talking about, Rick, we can put that on the, we can put that as a, that's going next, we can't make a vote on that, about that. But we can put it on the next agenda if you want. No, won't be closed. Not necessarily. I mean, and it might be, you know, that she'll get a pay raise after 6 months where it might be gradual. I mean, we can talk about it. Is that all right? Talk about the next meeting?
Yeah.
Put that on.
Yeah, we'll take
Put that on there.
So you just want to,
Just talk about.
just the wage, so we'll approve this. And then,
Yeah.
I'll make a-
Yeah.
We'll approve it.
Yeah,
Can I make,
the motion.
can I make a motion we hire Brianna?
Then I'll second.
A motion and a second. Nate?
Aye.
Raleigh?
Aye.
Rick?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Kevin?
Congratulations.
Welcome aboard.
Correspondence?
You have an email in the packet that I received from a resident in reference to the council packets. I don't know, this is a long history. I know that back when I was working PD eons ago, we handed the packets, and then at some point they went to the email, what we do today. I just have been doing the same process that I was trained to do from the very beginning. I don't see an issue with us posting the packets on the internet or on the website. The only thing is as you can see tonight, there's extra papers up there because things change from the time that the packets are done until the meeting. So I don't know if we post it the day of or how we want to handle that portion of it. But the bills, they go to the paper, and that's the process that has been by code. So that's where that goes. So anyway, you can choose to do what you want, but I can look into adding it. We put the minutes on there. I can certainly add it to the packets to the same website, city website, if that's what you want to do. So
That's the packets?
that's just, yeah, what you have there on the.
Yeah, under state law, the packets that go to all council have to be public.
They are public.
And they are public.
And they are. We don't, this letter accuses of lack of transparency. I don't believe we have that.
Yeah.
But we may have a delivery difference from Mount Vernon, so.
The reason we went to this in 2011, because I had just gotten on council, and the reason we did is we were getting packets that were, 3 or 4 inches thick at times, to try to become more green. That's why we switched to computers and get rid of, and the cost of printing packages out to everybody and having to deliver. So that's the reason we did. It's never ever to hide anything. I mean, whenever Brandon or Connie before that or Chris before that gave us an email, that's public knowledge. We don't send that. That's all public knowledge. So I mean, I don't have a problem putting it on the website, on our website. Obviously, like you said, there's going to be stuff that we have at times, stuff that you guys bring us that the citizens ain't going to see. But I mean, I don't have a problem with it. Put it on there.
But that can certainly be scanned and added to the minutes.
It can be added.
Making everything complete and transparent. So, and to be honest, I've used the site to go back and try to research things and and look for things. So it is nice to have it on the site as is suggested here. So I'm in support of it.
You know, and one thing that we changed was the consent agenda, where before they used to read about every bill, everything that we're doing, and I mean, read the old minutes and everything, and that's all stuff that you can see online. So that's the reason we went to consent agendas, pretty much. And plus, I can get this out of here in 20 minutes if we didn't do that. But I don't have a problem. Put it in a PDF and they can down. They sound good. For city engineer,
I don't have anything from him tonight.
public works.
The only thing I have is to give you a heads up, we ended up having to put 4 new tires on the dump truck. And then while it was in there, I have them check it out into the shifting incident. It'll sit there and it'll go into a regen and lock out. So it's like you're sitting there constantly hammering the foot feet back and forth. So we're hoping we can get that figured out in between snow here. So other than that, that's it.
What are you gonna do with Travis? Parks and Rec.
We had our Christmas event this past Friday. We had a parade. We had a youth dance group down at the gazebo. And we had Santa and Mrs. Claus in the fire station with the bake sale by Southeast Lynn. It went very well. We had great turnouts for everything, so it was a very successful event. We wrapped up girls basketball on Saturday, and I am working to get boys basketball started, and that will start on Sunday, January 4th, after the new year.
Anything we're grading? Police department.
We wrapped up our applications are in for our hiring. Got some good applicants, so looking forward to going through with that process. And then Vernon City Council approved my contract last week, so January 1st starts that for me.
Anything for Jason? Ambulance?
I don't have anything for him tonight.
Library.
So the board just approved a new fireplace in the library. It'll be an electric fireplace. It's going to be an area for adults to kind of sit and read. We don't have a gathering space in the library for adults right now, so it'll be a nice addition. And it's going to fit right in the little gap between the shelves, which we had to leave because of the protrusion of the fireplace, or the chimney. They couldn't install the new shelves over that, so it left a perfect little slot for us to install an electric fireplace. So we're hoping Public Works can help us with the install sometime over the winter and get that kind of up and running while it's still cold outside. So we're really excited about it, and that's the main thing. But then next week, there's those 2 programs I mentioned. We're going to have Cardboard Kingdom on Monday, 1 to 4 p.m. Kids can come in and create with cardboard, and then on Wednesday for New Year's, we're going to have a New Year's Eve party where kids can kind of toast the new year and celebrate at noon instead of midnight.
Any questions? Fire chief.
Been extremely busy. We're at 332 calls for service as of last week. I'll have to do some checking, but I believe that's probably going to be a record for 1 year. Last Sunday we had 2 machine shed fires, one south of Mount Vernon and one north of Lisbon, both paged out about 10 to 15 minutes apart. So we definitely used our mutual aid partners for that. The temperature at the time of the fire was 7 degrees below zero, actual air temperature, so there's a lot of challenges with those types of incidents. The best thing is that no equipment was damaged and no loss of life in either property. So thanks to everybody that assisted with that. Again, everything came back, was all iced up and frozen, so it's kind of challenging in that weather. That's all I have fire related.
Okay, fire chief. City administrator.
Had some snow complaints, as you can imagine. Some neighborhood squabbles and some plow complaints. There was a request from a resident. I talked to him and explained it to him. They wanted us to wing every driveway the other way. We did this experiment back 10 years ago, and when you do that, the poor guy at the end of the block gets all the snow. So I explained all that to them. The biggest thing, if people are patient and wait for the plow to go by twice, most of the snow is there, so you're not having to do it over and over again. But we have people that are out there, you know, right when it starts, and they do it 3 or 4 times, and, you know, the snow keeps down. It's got to go somewhere. But they appreciated the call back, and they were accepting that. So I had a lot of issues with street storages. Thanks to PD for coming over and helping with that, tagging vehicles. There were several of those. I have Cy coming to look at a couple trees in town since the weather's going to be decent the next week. There's a couple complaints from residents on city trees I'll have him look at. Thanks to everybody that participated and put together the Christmas town downtown for the parade and the Santa Claus. That was a good deal. Been working a lot on this budget. We did have an employee get involved in an accident. They were rear-ended in the skid loader when they were doing some snow blowing out on Gillette Lane. Obviously, PD doesn't determine fault, but it was a very slow person ran in the back of the skid loader. There's no damage. We turned it into our insurance company. They'll determine if there's anything going forward. There's a little damage to the other vehicle. I haven't heard anything from it, and then we had to follow our procedures on supervising, taking for testing, and all that type of stuff. So nobody's hurt, no damage to our equipment. So that was all good. Starting January, there's a T-Mobile. I don't know if you guys know, they purchased US Cellular, which obviously we have a shop here in town. I'm going to be working with them on a grant it's called a hometown grant. It's for $50,000, and I'm going to put in for the new concession stand out at the sports complex. So I'm going to take a shot at that, see what happens. And last but not least, you have this in front of you. Last year we've had banners for the 150th sesquicentennial. Then we have the Christmas banners now, obviously. So come January, we'll need new ones. So I just kind of put together the idea. I thought about on one side having the Lisbon Lion logo, it says Home of the Lions, and the other one having our city logo with our slogan. Basically, these would go front and back on each other. I thought the right side of the street would have one side, and the left side of the street would have the other. So as you go down the street, you'd have both sides showing. Just try to get your thoughts on it, or if you have other ideas or you want me to keep exploring, but we'll need some to come after the holidays.
You good? Christina?
I'm just deep into the budget at this point. All yearly reports have been completed, and if there's ever any trainings that you guys want, just let me know, and I'm happy to get you signed up.
Yeah, thanks for the training.
Yes, yes, well done, Rick and Raleigh, for getting yours done.
You got a lot of it too, right? I got some sleep. Oh, you got some sleep. I'm new, so I stayed late.
I have nothing to report, just hope everyone has a safe and happy Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Right. Yeah, I'll follow that up. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and congratulations. Welcome to our town.
Should have been in our town.
Wow, welcome to the city. Government part.
Congratulations, Bree, and have a holiday.
John?
Congratulations, Steve Green, and thanks to the fire department. I certainly wouldn't want to be out in sub-zero weather and dealing with water. That's all I have.
I got nothing.
I'm calling you.
Well, I've read your mind.
Kevin?
Go ahead, no?
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Bears and cheaters.
There's one. I want to thank the guys for,
Got any bear jokes?
I want to thank the city workers for the snow removal this last one. It seems like it always hits on the weekends, and it sucks taking no time away from your families, I know. I did call Brandon today and had the guys salt some of the alleys. I don't know which ones they had. I know they had one, but Jameson's. The reason I did that is we usually, alleys are our last things that we plow, no matter what. Any snowfall, they're going to be the last things that get plowed. So they did get plowed, but when it rained, it just turned everything into a sheet ice in those alleys. Or on the streets, the salt will work on the streets and everything, clear those up. So I did have them put salt in the alleys to try to get some of the stuff, try to get some of the ice out there. Normally we don't do this, but I appreciate you guys putting that out there for us. I want to wish everybody happy holidays, be safe. Do we have to make anything, we have any bills come in by the end of the year that we can pay? Christina?
Nope, we don't have to do that because we're in the middle of the budget.
Okay.
I did have Doug sign a few extra checks just because we have an extra week till our next one in case there's any pertinent bills, Alliant, that kind of stuff that might have a payment on it. And then Brady could be my second signature. But it's, nope, we'll be good come January.
Sounds good. Congratulations.
Well, working on the fiscal year, I mean, it ends then
Ends in
June.
June.
And then it
Yeah, you're
starts
right in the middle of it right now.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Meeting adjourned.
Would you like one of these? Sure. Thanks, Gary.